Hey everybody, welcome to the Shot Clock Podcast with me, Jer Jago. Today's guest is somebody who I wish I'd have played with because I think he would have got me serious numbers. You know what I mean? The man can find the past where there's no past to be found. Ex Killester, current Killester, Mr. Killester. Hell, that's the easiest intro we can do. Mr. Killester, Mr. Isaac Westbrooks. Welcome to the Shot Clock. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Doing great.
Excellent.
Good to be here.
First question's the same for everybody. How's COVID been treating you?
COVID is treating me probably the same as everybody else. Just trying to find things to fill the day. It's been rough. You know, it was great in the beginning when we had some sunshine, we were able to get out and about and stuff. It's been a little bit more difficult now being stuck in the gaff, you know yourself. And so basically I've just been here with the kids, hanging out, doing school at home, and I've become, I know you're a professional chef, but I'm trying to improve my culinary skills day by day. And that's about it, you know. Just
I'll send you my cookbook. I wrote a cookbook during the first lockdown. I will send it over to you.
Send it to me, man. Send it to me. I love a good challenge. But yeah, no, you know, I'm just trying to stay positive as much as possible, and just looking to kind of get to the end of it and get back to some sort of normality and hopefully a bit of basketball. Because I know that's what I miss the most is being active and being around basketball.
Absolutely. That's the whole reason this started. I just missed hoop. I missed talking basketball. I missed being at basketball. I was like, what can I do for me? I know what I'll do. I'll start a podcast and talk to people that I love. There you go.
Yeah. About what we love.
Yeah, great, exactly. Man. That's it. Great idea. Yeah. So look, we'll take it back to the very start. Killester, from the time you could probably walk, but who, what, or why inspired you to pick up a ball for the first time? And I kind of think I know where this is going to go, but look, throw it out there anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, like who inspired me? I grew up in a basketball family. You know, basketball has been ever present for me. In my baby book, it actually says Isaac can dribble the ball with his left and his right hand at the age of 2. And so, like, I've just always been around basketball. I'd say, obviously, you know, the inspiration or maybe the driving force behind my basketball career has always been my dad. Growing up, he was my coach, you know, in schools, and he also, you know, he was the reason that we all got into basketball. All my siblings played basketball. So like it was just my whole life growing up was basketball. So yeah, I don't know if it was like he was the inspiration, but he was definitely the driving force. I would go to his practices, you know, as a kid. We would travel on the bus to away games when he was playing Super League back in the day. And so, you know, I was just kind of immersed in basketball since the very, very beginning. And then just fell in love with it, you know. So I didn't need much inspiration. Once I kind of got hooked by the basketball bug, I was all in from the very beginning. So yeah, I think just growing up in that basketball family was the inspiration because it was all we really knew.
There was a wonderful picture during the summer of, it would have been your dad and you and your brothers. Was it winning a school's cup?
Yeah.
Every one of you is in the picture. I remember looking at it and going, that's one for the wall in every Westbrook house. Like that has to be hanging somewhere. Like,
it's up in the attic. Yeah, it's great. It's myself and Michael, my dad. I'm not sure if Aaron's in. I think Aaron was away for that year. He was doing his transition year over in America. But then Eric is in it as well, and he's only a little youngster. He wasn't playing. And we had just won, and we were freaked because we were planning on we were going to win the cup again this year, you know. And then reenact that photo with myself and Michael and Eric and my dad. But obviously COVID ruined that plan.
There's always next year.
There's always next year, exactly. Yeah. I like that. I have a lot of memories like that of growing up and playing with my brothers and with my dad as a coach. And we also obviously had lots of success with Fintons and stuff. And so, loads of great memories playing with the fam.
There's something nice playing with your brother. I've got to do it as well. I got to play with my one season Super League with my brother. and I got to coach him when he was a kid. Like, it's just, there's something nice. There's that extra connection.
It's special. There is.
Yeah,
There's the extra connection. It's like, you don't need much, you know, it's a look, a glance, even the way they move, you kind of, it's like, oh, I know what he's thinking. And yeah, it's special. I've always loved playing with both my, you know, I played mostly with Aaron, played with Michael a good bit, and then played a little bit with Eric, you know. Michael was always a bit, you know, myself and Aaron, we were like a duo. We would work off each other really, really well. When I played with Michael, he was always better than I was. So I used to always just look to get him the ball. And so, yeah, playing with your brothers is it's great, you know. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, definitely. So here's the follow-on, which is a tough one, obviously, because you've played with your brothers. But who's been your favorite teammate and why?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Obviously, the cop-out would to be name a sibling, but I won't do that. You know, and I've played with so many players over the years. You know, underage, I would have grown up with the likes of Johnny Grinnell and Simon B and these kind of guys. Super League, you'd have lads like Paddy Kelly and Damien Seeley and different Americans. And then I've played on Irish teams with, you know, the Jason Colleens, the Colin O'Reillys, Paul Cummins, even the Lorcan Murphys of late, you know. And so I've had loads and loads of unbelievable teammates over the years. But my favorite teammate has always been, probably will always be, John Bean, Simon Bean's little brother. We started out together at like under 10s. And, you know, even he came back, he retired like yourself, not for 9 years, but he retired or 17 if you put them both together. But he came back and played the last season that we just finished. And so because I played with John for so long, it's almost like playing with a brother. You know, I know what John's thinking. And he's cut from the same cloth that I'm cut from in terms of competing and wanting to win and his desire, you know. And so, like, John Bean for me is, if you're picking 5 and there's 10 guys out there, he'll be my first pick every single time.
One of those players that just doesn't get the recognition he deserves. I
never has
playing against him.
Yeah, he's never gotten the recognition.
But he looks like for me, he's the Rob Keane. Like, Rob looks like he's doing very little in a game. And then you go to the box scores and Rob has like 12 boards, 20 points, couple of steals. And you go, I didn't even realize he'd done it. But Johnny Bean was the same. You'd come off the court and go, Jesus, he was quiet tonight. And then, you know, you pick up the paper the next day and like being 17 and you're like,
yeah, what? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like that. Because there's no real flash to his game. He knows where he's good at. He stays in his lane. He's very efficient at what he does. But because of that, I agree. He's never gotten the recognition he deserves, because whenever he's played, he's always been a top player. You know, in underage, he was an absolute sniper. He just could shoot the living daylights out of the ball. And that was back when shooting wasn't as, what would you say? You know, everybody wants to be a shooter now because of Steph. You know, it's like everybody needs to be a shooter now because of the way the game's changed. All of us, you know, I couldn't shoot a lick back in the day, but now it's like, you know, you have to be able to shoot. Well, John back in the day, he could shoot that thing like nobody's business, you know. And then, yeah, he just did all the little things. Rebounded well, ran the floor like a gazelle. He was like that. He was surprisingly athletic. He didn't look athletic at all. He had a big old ass on him, you know. He was big, heavy, kind of lumbered around a little bit, but once he got going, he could move. You know, it just took him a while to get going.
He's gonna love this.
No, he knows it. It's all true. It's all fact. But like that, like I'm telling you, I think if you just paid attention and watched them through like a full 40 minutes, you'd be like, oh geez, he actually does a lot. Yeah. You know, but a lot of it goes kind of under the radar. You don't see the things that he does, and his IQ as well. You know, in terms of understanding the game and how to play the game, offensively and defensively, is just, you know, I wouldn't trade it, not for anyone.
He's a pest. It's the best way to describe
yeah.
it. He's a pest.
Yeah, the best kind of pest.
Yeah,
He's the type of person you want on your team and not against you.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've played for multiple Super League seasons. We won't count how many. We'll just say multiple to be polite.
Yeah.
But who's the toughest person you've had to guard over the years? And then vice versa, who is the one person you hate going up against because they play you so hard?
It's a tough one. The toughest, Janie Mac. It has been a lot of seasons. I'd say, Janie Mac. I'll start recently because those are easier to remember. But most recently, CJ Fulton, it is a nightmare to guard. And you wouldn't think it because it's not like he's super athletic or anything like that. But you just don't know what he's going to do. You can't take him out of his game. You can't speed him up. You can't slow him down. And, he's got such great footwork and can get to his spots. He's so crafty. Nowadays, I'd rather play against someone like who's super athletic, fast, and kind of easier to figure out. CJ is like a puzzle you can't figure out. He'll go and you'll think, oh, he's not playing hard. He's just chilling. He's not trying to score. And then out of nowhere, he'll rattle off 9 points straight on you. And you're like, what? So CJ recently is a pain in my ass. I'm glad he's gone, to be honest. And then over the years, Adrian was a pain back in the day, but that's just because he was older and I was younger, and he was phenomenal. So the Fultons, I've never enjoyed matching up against Fultons. Lorcan Murphy is a tough one. Again, he's just so physically dominant. He's so athletic and he's just always on the move. In transition, he's almost impossible to stop. I really dislike going against Puff. More so, I don't mind guarding Puff, but I don't like playing against Puff. He's quick, he's a pest, he's always up in your business. He doesn't give you any time to just chill. I like to chill when I'm playing, and Puff doesn't give you any time to chill. So I'd say, I'd hate going up against Puff. I hate saying that too. Maybe I'll actually edit that out. Don't give him that.
It has to stay in. One take podcast. Puff is gonna love this.
Yeah. And then nobody will remember this player, but back in the day, I used to hate going up against John Biggins. You probably know Dave Biggins.
I remember Biggins, yeah.
Oh my goodness, Dave's little brother Johnny Biggins was an absolute stud back in the day. Now, unfortunately, he stopped playing long before he should have, but he was one that was tough to go against offensively, and then defensively he was just uncontainable.
Great player.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Yeah.
Another one that should have still played. Should be still playing now.
Should still be playing now. Like that. It's probably at the time the most talented guard in the country. Which is tough for me to say.
Yeah, look.
But he was so good. He again at the time he had a pull-up jump shot. He was quick. He was fast. He could finish around the rim. He had handles.
Coming from the 45 as well, he just slash.
Oh yeah. He basically he could just do it all back in the day when, at the time there weren't that many players who could do everything in terms of like handle the ball, pass, score, play defense, rebound.
Yeah, it's very true.
Run a team. He was the complete package,
Yeah, definitely. So we are notoriously superstitious, and we have our game day routines, and I wear the big 1-3. People are always going, why? Was like just it's my thing. It's bad news for most people. So
I was going to say most people would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. No, do you know what? My mum wore 13 when she played. KT wore 13 in high school, so that was a factor as well. Will Chamberlain wore 13. It was the bad news number. I always loved it. Always loved it. Yeah. So what are your superstitions, if any?
Well, if I have the choice, I'll always wear 14. Now there's a hierarchy in my family. So if Mike's on the same team as I am, Michael will wear 14, and then I'll drop to number 4. But if 14 is available, I'm taking 4 all day, or 14 all day. And then growing up, I used to always wear, weird, but I used to always wear 2 pairs of shorts. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But back in the day, like, it was religious. I used to always have to have 2 pairs of basketball shorts on. I don't know if it was like Michael Jordan kind of thing where he used to wear his North Carolina shorts. I don't know what it was. It might have been because a lot of the shorts that we were wearing back in the day were too short, and the style was that you wore baggier shorts. I don't know, but that was something I did back in the day. I don't do that anymore, because the style has changed a little bit, and I'd look like a tool with my 2 pairs of shorts on. Game day, I don't really have very many game day superstitions. Before the game starts, I always make a layup right before. Like, once the referee blows the whistle, I like to be the last person to make a basket before the game starts. And then I don't really have any other game day rituals. Or, like, one of the things is, on a game day, I pretty much have music playing all day. That's about it. Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's been working for you. Don't change it.
I won't. No. That's for sure.
So, favorite kicks of all time. If you could call whatever sneaker company it is and ask them to make an Isaac Westbrook PE, what would be your go-to shoe?
Janie Mac. I used to have the Iversons back in the day, and you used to have the Bulldogs on the insole. I don't know, like
the answer.
It might have been like
2s or 3s,
like that.
I think they were.
Yeah, I was so bad at, like, the numbers and the names. I love shoes and I love sneakers, but I'm not going to take the time to remember all the numbers. And but I like that. It was like the answer is 2 or 3, and they had the Bulldog on the inside. I absolutely loved those shoes. They were big and they were clunky and they were awkward, but I just loved them. I was obsessed with Iverson back in the day too. So either those or the Kobe 8s. Kobe 8s are like playing in slippers, man. They're just so comfortable. So, like, now when my feet need all the comfort they can get from years and years of abuse, I'd probably say, if you're going to make me a lifetime shoe, make it the Kobe 8s. They are perfection.
Solid pick. So, over the years, you've played with some greats, you've played against some greats. Hey, look, you could answer this question with just family members, but it's you and 4 others going to a pickup game. Who are you taking by position? Players you played with, players you played against?
I am going to answer this with my family. We used to go, when I was growing up, we'd always go to Chicago for the summers, and we'd go down to Foster Beach. And there was a court down there on Foster Beach that my dad grew up playing on. And he used to take us down there, and we'd go down and we'd play pickup ball. And it was like great crack. Such different style of basketball, you know. But at that, like, we used to have a perfect team, because it would be, now at the time, it was usually just my dad, Michael, and Aaron, we would play, and myself. Eric was too young, and Leia was too young at the time. But man, we had a nice squad. So I'd play my dad at center.
Yep.
Michael at the power forward. Aaron would play the small forward. Eric would have to play the 2 guard, which is tough at the moment because he's no 2 guard anymore. Maybe I'll slide Eric over to the 1, and he can be a big Mark Jackson point guard, and then myself, and then we'd bring Leia in as our sub because Jay can't make it for a whole pickup game.
I think he's earned some time off, to be fair.
Yeah. He's earned his sub, but he's going to need a sub. So Leia can sub in, and she'd do a job for us too.
Here's a strange one. I haven't asked this to anybody else, but it's one of those I can't really ask to anyone else.
Yeah.
Are the Westbrooks the greatest basketball dynasty in Ireland?
I
I know it's tough for you to answer, but like, you know what? I'm going to put this out on Twitter when your episode drops, and let's see what the Twitter sphere have to say. I don't think anybody would match up with your family.
I don't think there's another family that could take us in a game in a match. I don't know if I'd say we're the greatest basketball dynasty, but in terms of basketball families, 100% we're up there. We've had lots of success and yeah. So,
top to bottom.
I know this. There's no other family out there that would take us in a game.
Look, this is one for Twitter. Twitter, we're coming at you.
Yeah, man. I don't even know who else can put out a team of 5.
The Blount family.
The Blount family is getting
June, Andy, Connor,
Jordan, and Garrett.
And Pat played as well. Connor's older brother, and Gary, Lord of Mercy on him, was a decent baller back in the day as well. But that's success as well. Ooh.
Yeah. They're still getting buckets though. Don't worry, Jay.
They are. Yeah, look, we'll put this one out for the world to decide on. So we're going to change lane. You've already mentioned that you're a big muso, and you know on game day you like listening to your music. So who are your top 5 musical artists of all time?
Favorite rapper, Jay-Z. Without doubt, I love Jay. I could listen to Jay-Z all day. And then I went through a phase where I was obsessed with Lil Wayne. Like stupidly obsessed. Where he could rap like every lyric to every Lil Wayne song. Don't ask me to do it now. I'm out of practice.
No, we'll leave it for another
day. Then Dave Matthews Band is like my go-to. I love a bit of Dave. Man, I need to change up the mood and the genre. And then Michael Jackson for his music again. And then
disclaimer.
Whitney Houston.
Solely for his music.
Right. Just putting it out there. And then Whitney Houston. I'm a massive Whitney fan. Whenever I have to clean the gaff and do a deep clean, Whitney goes on and the time just disappears.
I watched their documentary a couple of weeks ago, and like it chokes you up. It's like I didn't even know this girl personally, and I'm like
Whitney. Damn it, Whitney.
So following on from that, you're the DJ. What are the 3 songs we're warming up to?
Oh geez. This is a tough one. So many good ones. Okay, Lil Wayne, Fireman, always gets me going. Beat the tempo, just kind of bangs from the very beginning. Some sort of Tiesto. I don't know. I don't have a song that I'd pick, but some sort of Tiesto in there. If you gave me some time, I'd probably come up with one. But a bit of Tiesto, change it up, and then probably last song before we tip off, Cassidy, I'm a Hustler. Just get me going.
Nice.
Or get all of us going.
Get everyone going. There's
everyone going.
Solid picks.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd play anything as long as anything that Declan King doesn't have in his playlist, I play.
That's solid advice.
I'm telling you what. It's like Q102 where we're up in Declan King's warm-ups.
So here's one for you. What advice would you give 16-year-old Isaac if he was sitting in front of you right now, knowing everything that you've been through in life, in basketball? What advice would you give him?
16-year-old me.
I remember 16-year-old you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 16-year-old me. When I was 17 was when I left Ireland for the first time. I went over to America, to Colorado, met my wife, and had a great year that year. But if I could talk to myself before going away that year, like we won state championship that year, we went undefeated 27-0, and so we had a great year at 17. But I think even with all of that happened, if I was to meet myself at 16, I would probably say make the most of your opportunities. when they present themselves is one piece of advice. And then kind of piggybacking on that would be then there's no substitute for hard work. There's no shortcuts. It's like if you get out of life what you put into it. And so, like, when I think about that, and I think about that year when I was over in America at 17, it was the first time where I had access to a gym, like almost 24/7 with the high school that I was at. There was a weight room there that I could use. And it kind of should have catapulted my basketball career even more so than what it did. But I didn't fully take advantage of it. I didn't go shoot every day. I didn't lift weights. And I think had I done that first year at 17, I would have built those habits, would have, instilled that in myself, and that would have kind of stuck with me throughout from 17 to where I am now at 36. But I didn't. And, and I kind of never developed that. Like, I work hard, don't get me wrong. But I could have worked a lot harder. And there was opportunities for me to work harder and do more, and I didn't, and I made decisions, kind of based on the present and not on the future. And I didn't understand kind of while I was going through my career and while I was over in England and Iceland traveling, playing basketball, I didn't understand how much the process matters, and how much more than just playing the matches and showing up. It's like what you do day to day and week to week that actually matters, and that there is, like I said, in simple terms, there's no substitute for hard work. You get out of it what you put into it. And had I known that at 16, I think I would have done things a lot differently. And things probably would have went a lot differently for me too.
That's such an honest and a peeled back answer, you know what I mean? Because that question makes you question your decisions. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's always one that you second guess yourself on, but like that was such an honest answer, and I appreciate that because it's not easy to be that honest when faced with that question. But like that advice, I think, is going to stick with a lot of people who listen into this. You know what I mean? And if it inspires one person,
well, that's the goal.
Hopefully one person,
hopefully one person hears it and realizes that it's a long road, and you just got to kind of take it day by day and make the most of it and enjoy the process as much as you possibly can. It's a bit cliche, but it's the truth.
Cliches are cliches because they've been around for so long and they work.
It's just a fact of the matter, isn't it? It's like that's just
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're at our second last question. I love this one because it gives an insight into the person I'm talking to. Dead or alive, 5 dinner guests are coming to your house. They can be friend, family, or famous.
Okay.
Who's sitting down with Isaac when restrictions lift for dinner?
Yeah. That's a tough one now because it's like you take anybody over.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I take the 5 people in the park across the road. I don't care. Who? I think I'd have Jay-Z over for dinner.
Nice.
I've always liked listening to Jay-Z's interviews. I like the way he kind of, the way he speaks and the way he kind of, philosophizes everything. So I bring Jay-Z, Barack Obama. I'd love to pick his brain and just let him chat and talk. Will Smith.
Oh, nice.
For a bit of banter, just because Will's gas. I think he's got a good outlook on life and his positivity and stuff like that. It'd be great to be around. Kobe,
just cause, yeah.
Who wouldn't like some more time with Kobe? And then last, who would be last in, I guess? Maybe Kevin Hart again, just keep us laughing. you know, just for the crack. We have a bit of serious and a bit of banter all mixed into one.
Brilliant.
I probably wouldn't get a word in, but it'd be good just to sit around and listen to them chop it up.
Absolutely. So, quick follow on from that: are we ordering in, or are you cooking now in your newfound role as house chef?
I'm gonna find a recipe from J.R. Jago's cookbook, and I'm gonna chef it up and hopefully not botch it. Maybe order some takeout as a backup plan.
Look, I tell you what, with those 5 guests, I'll come and cook for you.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna hire you.
No problem.
Yeah. There you go.
So look, we've hit the last question. We've hit the last question now. Before we ask this question, I just want to say, one, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. You're one of those guys who, you know, throughout from the time I coached against you when you were 14, 15, up till now, you're that guy that you can always say hello to. Regardless of time, you'll always have a word for people. The workouts that you've been posting on Instagram, again, fantastic, inspirational. You're reaching out and you're keeping the kids going. So look, I appreciate you for all that you're doing. Stay strong during this. I know, look, we both talked off air. We both had down days and up days. You know, this basketball community, we're all here for each other, which is incredible. We're all only a phone call away, which is unbelievable. You know what I mean? So I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me.
That book over to you. Let me know how it goes.
To be honest, I appreciate you too, Jay, man. This has been great, you know, especially when it's so difficult with, you know, we're not getting that much time with people. And so it's great to just even connect with anybody. So I really, really appreciate you having me on, man.
Cheers. Thank you. So last question, who would you like to see on the Shot Clock podcast?
Jenny Mac. I mean, there's a whole list of people. I saw when you posted on Instagram, Lenny Mac was one of them. I'd love to listen to Lenny Mac chop it up. I think it would just be hilarious. Joey Boylan, if we could get a translator. There's who else? Adrian Fulton, maybe. Connor Meaney. Orla O'Reilly.
Connor's actually agreed to come on. I'm just trying to find time to record Connor. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to hear Connor, you know, just chop it up as well. Orla O'Reilly, who is over in Australia. I don't know if you know Orla, Colin's little sister. Yeah, Colin's sister. Colin O'Reilly be another one. Paul Cummins, maybe.
Yeah.
Neil Randolph, you mentioned that earlier. Who else? Maybe Claire Rockwell.
Yes.
Should be another good one to have on with Owen as well, the Rockwells. Yeah, there's then also Fergal O'Sullivan down in Tralee has been doing a lot recently. Just for, you know, he started this the Shooters Club Academy, and he's been doing tons for the kids in Tralee and even, you know, all around the country at the moment. Just again, trying to keep them active and keep a ball in their hands. Like we said earlier, it's been a year since we've had any organized basketball, and so I think it'd be great just to kind of pick his brain and see what he's planning for the future and just how it's been going with him and the Shooter Club.
Look,
yeah,
that's a load of people to work on.
Yeah.
You think we could get Big J on?
Listen, just say the word, I'll get him on.
I need like the all-time 5 legends of Irish basketball. I need KT. I say 5. Yeah. There's probably like 20.
Yeah.
KT, Lenny Mac, Rick, Roscoe, Randall, Ed, Ken Black. Do I need to keep going? Like, you know, we could be here all day.
Yeah, we go all day. Yeah. I'm telling you.
We need to get them all on.
I was going to say, you need to get all of them on. And just, all of those boys would be great. Like that, they give an insight to a time of basketball that kind of seems forgotten almost. But it's the era that so many of us grew up on and loved and fell in love with basketball watching. So all those be amazing.
I've got my work cut out for me over the next couple of months. Let's put it that way.
Hey, listen.
Look, Isaac, I appreciate your time. Thanks again. Back to homeschooling now. Sort out the dinner for tonight.
That's right.
Get your act together. I'll get that cookbook over to you later on.
Happy days.
Look,
Yeah,
take
man,
it
thanks
easy.
for having
Cheers,
me,
pal.
bro.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah, really appreciate you. Take care.
Yeah, take it easy.